Hi everyone. Welcome to English Story School. What if I told you there's one choice that will completely change your life? One decision that will either make you unstoppable or leave you with nothing. You might be thinking, what decision? What's this all about? Well, you're about to find out. Stick with me until the end of this video because you'll be shocked at the answer, and trust me, you'll never look at your life the same way again. Chapter 1. The Awakening. Do you really want this? Have you ever asked yourself, do I really want this? I'm not talking about the superficial things. I'm talking about the big stuff. The stuff that changes you. The stuff that demands everything from you. That's the question I had to answer, and trust me, it was harder than I ever imagined. Let me take you back to a time when I was just like you, unsure of myself, drifting through life, not fully committed to anything. I wasn't a failure, but I wasn't winning either. I was comfortable with the excuses, comfortable with the easy way out, comfortable with mediocrity. I lived my life in the safe zone. I told myself that I'd do great things someday, but deep down I knew I was holding back. I wasn't giving life my full energy or passion. I was skating by, hoping that success would fall into my lap. But life has a funny way of throwing you a curveball when you least expect it. That's when I met Jack. Jack was the kind of guy who lit up a room when he walked in. He didn't just talk about success, he lived it. The guy had a mindset that was unwavering, unstoppable. He was all in, 100%. He didn't do things halfway, and it showed in every aspect of his life. His energy was infectious, and his drive was magnetic. He had this mantra that would stay with me forever. One day, he pulled me aside and said something that completely shook me. If you're not going all in, you're just wasting time. Those words hit me like a freight train. I was living in a comfort zone, convincing myself that I was putting in effort, but in reality, I was doing just enough to get by. I wasn't challenging myself. I wasn't pushing myself to be better. I wasn't playing at my highest level. I was merely going through the motions. And that's when it hit me. I was settling. I was allowing myself to exist in a space where I wasn't fully living, thriving, or succeeding. That day, something in my brain snapped into place. Jack's words echoed in my mind. If you're not going all in, you're just wasting time. What was I waiting for? Was I truly giving everything I had to this life? Or was I just giving enough to get by, thinking that someday things would just happen for me? I realized that success doesn't just happen. It's not something you can wish for, hope for, or expect to be handed to you. You have to earn it. And earning it means going all in. You can't expect greatness if you're unwilling to push past your limits, face the discomfort, and commit fully to the grind. I made a decision that day. I decided to go hard. I wasn't going to settle anymore. I wasn't going to give half-hearted effort to anything. It was time to wake up. Time to stop making excuses. Time to stop waiting for the perfect moment. Time to stop thinking I had all the time in the world to get it together. But here's the thing. Once you decide to go all in, once you commit fully, everything changes. It's like flipping a switch in your mind. Suddenly, you see the world differently. You start seeing opportunities where before there were only obstacles. You notice the hard work that others put in, the way they fight for their dreams, and you realize you've been holding yourself back. However, what no one tells you when you make that commitment is this. The path isn't easy. It's filled with challenges, with moments where you feel like quitting, with days where nothing goes right. But here's the secret. Those challenges, those struggles, they're part of the journey. They are the lessons, the tests, the defining moments that shape you into the person you're meant to be. You can't reach greatness without facing these obstacles. They're not roadblocks, they're stepping stones. And every time you push through, every time you decide to keep going, to keep fighting even when the odds are stacked against you, you build resilience. You build confidence. You build the kind of strength that can withstand anything. The more you commit to this all-in mentality, the more it becomes a part of you. It becomes who you are. It becomes your lifestyle. So, ask yourself, are you willing to go all in? Are you ready to commit everything you have to becoming the best version of yourself? To stop waiting for a perfect time that will never come? Because when you make the choice to go hard, the world will respond. Your life will never be the same. You'll look back one day and realize that all those small decisions, all those moments where you chose to push harder, went all in, and refused to back down, those are the moments that change your life forever. The question now is, what are you going to do about it? This is just the beginning. The road ahead is challenging, but it's the only road that leads to great. Chapter 2, the struggle. It's going to hurt, but it's worth it. All right, so you're in. You've made the choice to go all in, and you're fired up. But here's the thing they don't tell you when you make that decision. The grind is real. The struggle isn't something you can avoid. It's something you have to face head on. Imagine this. You decided to give everything. You're pushing yourself, working harder than you ever have before. And then, out of nowhere, the pressure hits. The weight of everything you're working for feels like it's crushing you. Your energy is drained. Your body aches. Your mind is clouded with doubt. That motivation you had earlier, it's slowly fading, and you start wondering if all this effort is even worth it. Every step forward feels like you're walking through quicksand. You get tired. You want to quit. You question if this journey is even possible. Let's be real for a second. This is where most people fall off. They hit a wall, and instead of pushing through, they take a step back. They let the pain stop them. They listen to that voice that says, "It's too hard. I can't do this anymore." They pull out. The moment things get difficult, they run away. And that's what separates the winners from the rest. Winners don't run from pain. They don't shy away from difficulty. In fact, they thrive in it. They understand something most people don't. The real test begins when things get tough. When you feel like you've given everything and it's still not enough. That's when you have a choice to make. That's when you decide to either fold or push forward. And that decision, right there, determines who you become. I'll be honest, I've been there. I've been in that exact place. I was working on something big, a project I had been dreaming about for years. This was the one thing that could change everything for me. I'd pour my heart and soul into it. But then, bam, reality hit. The challenges started piling up. The obstacles were bigger than I imagined. The self-doubt crept in like a shadow. And like most people, I wanted to quit. I remember thinking, why am I doing this? Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I should just walk away. But then, I remembered something. I remembered Jack's words. If you're not going all in, you're just wasting time. And I thought, what's the point of quitting now? I've already invested everything I have. I'm not a quitter. I'm here to win, and quitting is not part of the plan. So, instead of folding under the pressure, I leaned into it. I pushed through the pain. I dug deeper than I ever thought possible. I fought not just against the external obstacles, but against my own mind, the voice that wanted to convince me to stop. Every fiber of my being screamed to give up, but I kept going. And you know what happened? That's when I found strength I didn't even know I had. That's when I pushed past my limits and discovered what I was truly capable of. I learned that the real magic doesn't happen when things are easy. The magic happens in the struggle. It's in the moments where you want to quit, but you don't. It's in the fight. It's in the challenge. That's where you grow. That's where you evolve. That's where you become the person you've always dreamed of being. And let me tell you this, going hard doesn't mean avoiding struggle. It means embracing it. It means understanding that the struggles are necessary, that the pain is part of the process. If everything was easy, everyone would be great. But greatness doesn't come from doing what's easy. It comes from doing what's hard, from pushing through when you feel like you can't go on. The struggle is where you transform, where you shed your old self and emerge stronger, more resilient, and ready for whatever comes next. There's a beauty in the struggle, even though it doesn't always feel like it. And when you push through it, you'll look back and see that the moments you wanted to quit were the moments that made you. The obstacles you thought would break you, they were the things that forged your strength. So if you're in the middle of your struggle right now, if you feel like throwing in the towel, I want you to remember this. The pain is temporary, but the strength you gain from it lasts forever. And every time you overcome a challenge, every time you push through when the world seems to be against you, you get closer to who you were always meant to be. That's the beauty of going all in. It's not about avoiding the struggle. It's about embracing it, learning from it, and coming out stronger on the other side. Because when you push through the pain, when you face the impossible, that's when you find greatness. That's when you become unstoppable. Chapter 3, The Breakthrough, Realizing the Power of Perseverance. All right, so you fought through the struggle, felt the pain, and yet you didn't quit. You kept moving forward no matter how hard it got. And now comes the breakthrough. This is where you finally see it, the light at the end of the tunnel. You've been through the storm, and now you're standing on the other side, drenched in sweat, with a sense of accomplishment like no other. But hold on a second, this isn't just about surviving. It's about thriving. And this part of the journey, it's the one that changes everything. You go from, I'm doing this just to get through it, to, I'm doing this because I know I can conquer anything. Let me break it down for you. It's not just about pushing through for the sake of pushing through. That's not the real reward. The real reward comes when you start to truly understand the power of perseverance. Because here's what most people miss. Success isn't a one-time win. It's a process. It's the accumulation of all the small steps, all the days you've spent grinding when no one was watching, all the hours you put in even when you didn't feel like it. Each of those moments is what builds the foundation for the success you're reaching for. Each decision to go hard, every choice to keep fighting adds up. I'll never forget the first time I hit a milestone on that project I had been working on for months. It wasn't a huge win, but to me, it felt like I had conquered the world. It wasn't a massive breakthrough in terms of results. It was just a small step forward. But in that moment, I realized something so powerful. Perseverance is everything. It wasn't about the end goal or the big win. It was about how far I had come, how much I had learned, and how much stronger I had become because of the obstacles I had overcome. That small win wasn't just a win. It was a testament to everything I had endured, everything I had pushed through. But here's the kicker. That moment, that small victory, didn't feel like the end of the journey. No, it felt like I was just getting started. I could finally see the bigger picture. I could see where all the struggles had led me. And it was like a light bulb went off. I realized that perseverance wasn't just a trait. It was the force that would take me places I never dreamed possible. Every day I'd spent pushing forward, every hour of effort I'd put in, every decision to show up, even when I was exhausted. It was all adding up. Here's the truth. When you go hard, it's not just about reaching success. It's about becoming the person who can handle that success. It's about building the character, the resilience, and the mindset of someone who has gone through the fire and come out unscathed. And trust me, the person you'll become is nothing like the one who started out. I look back on that moment and realize something so powerful. The person who started that journey was full of doubt, full of questions about whether it was all worth it. But the person I am now, after fighting through the struggles and embracing the process, is unrecognizable. I'm not just someone who wants success. I've become someone who knows what it takes to make it happen. I've become someone who understands that the real work begins when the odds are stacked against you. And that person is unstoppable. And here's the most exciting part of all. This is just the beginning. The breakthroughs you experience are just stepping stones to something greater. Once you understand the power of perseverance, it becomes a habit. You start to expect success, not because you're entitled to it, but because you've earned it. You've put in the work. You've fought through the hard times. You've learned that perseverance is the key that unlocks the door to everything you want in life. It's funny how we tend to measure success in these big, flashy moments, money, fame, accolades. But the real success? It's the growth, the strength, the belief in yourself that you gain from going through the struggle. That's the kind of success that lasts. It's the kind of success that no one can take away from you because it's built on the foundation of your own effort, your own persistence, and your own willingness to go hard when everyone else is looking for an easy way out. So, here's what I want you to remember. The breakthrough isn't the end of the road. It's just another starting point. The moment you realize that your perseverance is your superpower is the moment you unlock your true potential. From that point on, you'll never doubt your ability to overcome anything that comes your way. You'll never question whether you're capable of achieving greatness, because you've already proven to yourself that you can. Chapter 4. The Turning Point. This is where you transform. All right, we've reached the pivotal moment. The moment you've been working toward, whether you knew it or not. You're no longer the person you once were. You've come through the grind, you've battled through the storm, and now, something has shifted within you. You're different now. That breakthrough you experienced, it didn't just open doors for you. It completely transformed you. This is the turning point, the moment where everything changes. It's the moment you realize that you are capable of doing anything you set your mind to. Your perspective, your entire way of thinking completely flips. The obstacles that once seemed insurmountable, the challenges that once terrified you, now become opportunities. Opportunities to grow, to expand, and to push even harder. I need you to ask yourself, when was the last time you went all in? When was the last time you committed yourself fully to something with no hesitation, no holding back? Think about it. Really think about it. Because I promise you, when you do, you'll realize that this moment, the moment you decide to truly go hard, is where your life begins to change on a level you never thought possible. Now, let me tell you something. Going hard doesn't just change your outcome. It changes you. You're no longer the person who hesitated, who wondered if it would work. You're no longer the person who doubted their own abilities. You're transformed into a person who knows their worth, knows their power, and knows that no matter what life throws at you, you've got what it takes to succeed. The truth is, you become a new version of yourself. A version that's stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. You stop looking for shortcuts, you stop looking for excuses, and you stop thinking about how to avoid the challenges. You start thinking about how to overcome them. You see every difficulty as an opportunity to show the world, and yourself, what you're really made of. I know this from experience. I can still remember the day when I finally felt it, the shift. It wasn't some grand, dramatic moment. It was subtle but powerful. It was the moment I realized that I could do anything I put my mind to. I was no longer shackled by fear or self-doubt. I didn't look at the next challenge with anxiety or worry. No, I looked at it with excitement and anticipation. I welcomed it because I knew that whatever came next, I was ready. And trust me, when you reach that point, you'll know. You'll feel in your bones. It's like a fire ignites within you, a fire that can't be extinguished no matter what. That's the moment when you know there's no going back. The version of yourself that used to second guess, that used to hold back, is gone. You are now the person who can't be stopped. You are unstoppable. It's not that challenges stop coming. They don't. Life doesn't get any easier just because you've transformed. But here's the difference. When you've gone through the grind, when you've faced the pain and the doubt and come out the other side, you develop a mindset that nothing is too big, too difficult, or too overwhelming for you to handle. You've built the mental and emotional strength to push through anything. This turning point is when you stop feeling like a victim of circumstances and start realizing that you have control over your own fate. No more waiting for things to just happen. No more hoping things will fall into place. You start creating your own path, and you walk down it with unwavering confidence. The world becomes your playing field, and you're the one calling the shots. It's the moment when you realize that the only limits are the ones you place on yourself. And at this turning point, you break free from those limits. You break free from the belief that you can't, the thought that you're not good enough, and the fear that holds so many people back. You shed those old layers of self-doubt and fear, and in their place, you build a version of yourself that is relentless. And the best part? Once you reach this turning point, there's no going back. There's no falling back into the old patterns, no reverting to the person you were before. The version of yourself that emerges at this moment is one who will go hard in everything they do, who will face every challenge with strength and resilience, and who will turn every failure into a lesson learned. So I ask you again, when was the last time you went all in and truly felt unstoppable? If you haven't felt it yet, trust me, you're about to. Because once you decide to go hard, once you commit to this journey, everything will change. And this transformation, it will be the one thing that keeps you moving forward, no matter what comes next. Chapter 5, The Legacy, Making It a Habit and Leaving Your Mark. Now here's the final truth. This is the part where everything comes full circle. When you choose to go hard, when you commit to the grind, you're not just creating success for yourself. You're creating a legacy. It's not just about the victories or the recognition. No, this goes deeper. It's about the ripple effect you create with your actions, the fire you ignite in others, and the way your journey becomes something bigger than just you. People will start asking, how did you do it? What was your secret? And that's when your journey becomes their blueprint. They look at you, and they see possibility. They see someone who decided to go all in, someone who is willing to fight, to struggle, and to persevere. They see you, and they think, if they can do it, so can I. That, my friend, is where the real magic happens. You'll have become a spark, a living example of what it means to go hard, to commit to the grind, and to transform your life. But here's the catch. It doesn't stop there. It's not just about one win, one project, or one moment of greatness. The journey doesn't end when you reach the top because going hard isn't a one-time thing. It's a habit, a way of life, a lifestyle you create every single day. Every time you push yourself past your limits, every time you get up after a fall, every time you choose to keep going when the world says stop, you are reinforcing the very thing that makes you unstoppable. The grind doesn't end. It doesn't take a break. It doesn't give you a pass because you reached a milestone. It keeps pushing, keeps testing, keeps growing. And if you're still in the game, so will you. Think about it. You've built something powerful, something bigger than any one success. You've built the habit of greatness. That's the legacy. The person you've become through the struggle, the lessons you've learned, and the strength you've gained. That's what people will remember. That's what will inspire others to go hard, just like you did. And here's the thing about legacies. They last. Long after you're gone. Long after the victories are forgotten. The habits you built, the mindset you cultivated, and the impact you made will continue to echo through those who were touched by your journey. The world will be better because you decided to go all in. Your story will be the one people point to when they want to understand what it truly means to live a life without limits. You see, when you make going hard a habit, you start creating something that goes beyond your own success. You're shaping the future of everyone who looks up to you. Every person who learns from your journey, who is inspired by your determination, and who decides that they too will go hard because they saw you do it. And that's the ultimate gift. Because when you create a legacy, You create something that continues to inspire long after you're gone. You've laid the foundation for greatness, and now it's not just about you. It's about all the people who will follow in your footsteps, who will carry the torch you lit. It's about those who will see your example and think, if they can do it, I can too. That's the legacy you've built, one that will never fade. So, ask yourself, what will your legacy be? Will it be one of mediocrity, or will it be one of greatness? Will people remember you as someone who played it safe, who never took risks, or as someone who went all in, who gave everything they had and left an indelible mark on the world? The choice is yours. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.